Welcome to episode 10 of the Communication Error Podcast, the Community Patch Notes episode of social media and gaming.
Media. There you go.
And with me today, I got Cheesy C64, as always. How you doing, Cheesy?
What's going on, Cheese Curds?
And we got a special guest. You may have heard his voice on the All In podcast, the Nintendo Drive. I don't know what else, but Seth is here.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to hang out with y'all. Been loving the show. Really cool idea. I love the community patch notes idea. What a neat idea that is.
Yeah, that's cheesy. I can't take credit for that one. The one thing I can't take credit for is the community patch notes. So
yeah, there you go.
But I'm excited that you're here because this is really interesting because you do social media as like a full-time thing, and I'm interested to hear how it has affected your relationship with games and everything like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, social media is a weird one. My partner on All In, Eric, he runs the All In social media, and then at Carpool, Court Lalonde is the social media guy. So for those like kind of branches of what I do, like I'm not trying to sound like hoity, like I have people for that, but there are
kind
people
of a big
on
deal.
Those teams. Yeah, but there are people on those teams that handle that. However, like the social media thing is interesting because like pretty much every good thing in my life happened to me because of the internet and at least tangentially from social media as well. And so like it is an important component of it because of marketing and connection. And I mean, if it weren't for social media, we wouldn't be sitting here right now. You know what I mean? Like ultimately.
Exactly.
So yeah, that it definitely plays like a big part in my everyday life. And it's really, it's kind of fascinating, y'all, that I think that perhaps good old Elon listens to y'all's podcast. Like, you know what? We need to have like the heat death of Twitter to give y'all something to talk about on Communication Error on the social media episode. So
he knew.
Yeah. He knew. So
Well,
that's been interesting to see too.
Yeah, well, thanks for being here. Before we get into it, we have, what are we calling it? Server maintenance?
Server maintenance.
I love that. Yeah.
Cheesy, do you want to, I don't know, let the people know what's going on?
Yeah, I'll pull out the old screwdriver and do that server maintenance. Is that what they do? I don't know. So we just want to say thank you to all of you that continue to listen and support us on all of the socials. You can find us on Com Error Podcast, and anything that you comment may be on the following week's show. And you can even write us a 5-star review and talk about how Johnny finished his first game of the year.
I know, 6 months in.
Congratulations.
Ever. Like Johnny just finished his first game.
It might be ever. Who knows?
Me.
I don't remember the game beforehand. So
and Johnny, where can people find you?
I'm Johnny Bo everywhere: Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and the Nintendo Powercast.
Seth?
Hey, I'm at $2 Hero on Twitter, Tumblr, which I just started using again.
Let's make it a comeback.
That's actually, yeah, it's we're bringing it back, baby. You can find me on there. All In, a Nintendo podcast, the Nintendo Drive, Keep Nintendo Weird, All In and Carpool Gaming are both on Patreon as well. You can find us there. Yeah, I do a lot of stuff.
Seriously, if you're not following Seth already anywhere or you haven't heard his voice, what's wrong with you? Great guy. You can find me on TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube. All of these social medias kind of sound like they're not going to be around, but while they're still here.
Well, I don't know. Maybe just one might not be around.
TikTok was in the news for a while,
Yeah.
and that's still
It's
it's
all
probably
everything's on the brink at all times. Yeah.
Cheesy C64, CheezyC 64. If you don't mind, Johnny, real quick, before we get on with the rest of our show, I do have a bone to pick with Seth.
Okay. Please.
Because you do have a series called Keep Nintendo Weird. and I did watch your Pikmin 4 demo. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Thank you.
But you say that you're not the biggest Pikmin fan, and I find that weird, considering that is one of Nintendo's weirdest IPs.
I know,
Explain
dude.
yourself.
I know that's the thing is like on paper I should love it. And like I've always liked it. Like I've played them all. I even like Hey Pikmin more than most people.
Whoa,
Like
really?
I even liked that one. Like it's dumb and it's the worst of them, but I still kind of liked it. And but like I always have felt like there's been like a wall of glass between me and Pikmin. Like I just can't connect to it. I don't know if it's because like I don't know, like I like the gameplay of it, but like there's not anything really going on like with the characters or anything. It's just kind of the same thing packaged differently, which is fine, but like I've always felt because, you could say the same thing about something like Splatoon, but Splatoon has this whole world, right? But like Splatoon's got lore and like real like fat to chew on. And I feel like Pikmin's kind of missing the fat a little bit. Like I'm kind of looking for a little bit of that. And Pikmin 4 though, playing that demo, like that was the first time I'm like, okay, like I can see myself getting into this one. I don't know if it's because you get to make your own character. I don't know if it's because there's some like weird junk going on with Olimar. Even that, like even just that, like the potential of some weird junk going on with Olimar is more interested than I've ever been in Pikmin,
Yeah.
So.
And like that demo is 3 hours long, so who knows how long that game is going to be.
Wait, how?
And there's
Dude, you suck at that game. I'm just like, you suck at it. It doesn't take 3 hours. It takes 2 hours.
You can make it last a long time. You can, if you like just don't collect all the treasure, you can just play it forever, I guess. Like they're like, I played it for 6 hours. It's like, good lord.
And there's no, I don't think there's an overarching time limit in this one, right?
No.
They pretty much did away with that one after the first one. I think the first one's the only one that has the strict 30-day in-game time limit.
Right. In 3 you have to manage like your food. Like in 3 you have like if you don't kind of like skedaddle, you're gonna run out of food. Like so there's like kind of a time limit, but even then like it's really generous. So they've kind of been moving away from that. And even in this one, like you can, if you mess up, which I did in the demo, you can just rewind like 2 minutes.
Yeah, I saw that.
There's a lot of like friendly stuff.
Seems like it's gonna come in handy too, because like in the demo you didn't really face a lot of the like big bosses yet, or a boss in general. So that might be kind of nice.
I agree. There are going to be some hardcore Pikmin fans that like get annoyed by that, but just don't do it then.
Are there hardcore Pikmin fans?
There are hardcore
Arlos of the
Pikmin
world.
fans. Yep. Well, Johnny, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, so if you're new to the show, and I also wanted to say we're almost at 1,000 total audio downloads.
Oh, snap.
And it's only been, this is episode 10, so pretty cool. We're at 92 subs on YouTube. We're slowly inching up to the 100.
Oh, come on.
The
That's
validation 100 subs on YouTube.
Get on it, y'all. Come on now.
And we got to shout out Gamefly, because we keep forgetting. It's been like 3 weeks in a row.
Shout out to Gamefly.
Even though they're increasing their prices, we still... Yeah. Apparently.
Come on now.
Because they got so much inflow from our listeners that they needed to increase the price.
They can get it. Well, now they just need to offset that by sponsoring Communication Error, brought to you by Gamefly.
Yeah.
Easy. It's a done deal. It's easy.
But I guess the first thing, this is actually a good one that we have another Nintendo content creator on here. This is from the Discord. You can join the Discord. Link is in the show notes. But it's from Real Wolf 8YT. It says, what Nintendo console had the best games?
Seth?
Man, that's a tough. I mean, pound for pound, it's got to be the Switch. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like that's the like it's one of those things. Like I love I love the GameCube. DS, I think also DS might be like a runner up for me, but
Mhm.
like pound for pound, the Nintendo Switch just has like some series best entries on it. Like between stuff like Tears of the Kingdom and like Mario Odyssey and Smash, like Mario Kart, like best series entries on the Switch. It's hard to say anything other than that for me.
Plus, it has at least 2 generations on it because it has the Wii U and Switch. But it also had,
Yeah.
you know, even, we have the Nintendo Switch Online where Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, N64. I know people have like a soft spot for like the Wii, but that's
Of course.
just nostalgia blinders. The
I love the
GameCube,
Wii, but yeah.
but like I get a ton of comments about how good Mario Kart Wii is, and I'm like, that's incorrect.
Yeah,
But
no, it's like the worst one. I still love it, but it's like the worst one.
because I think a lot of people that are interacting are from that generation of the Wii
Right.
era. So a lot of people do have nostalgia, which makes me feel really old.
Mostly because it was probably their first like Mario Kart.
Yeah, like I saw.
Oh yeah.
So I made a video about Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, and apparently people like that game, which I thought
Right.
a lot of people don't like that game. And a lot of comments were like, "Oh, that was my childhood game." I'm like, that came out
childhood.
like 10 years ago, maybe.
I was a grown man. Like, I was like, come on, dude. Make
I had to
it-
pay a mortgage.
Right.
Yeah, it's probably Switch, and it sounds like a cop out just because we're in the Switch era. But it's like you said, there's so many great like first entries on the Switch, and when it opened up, we got Breath of the Wild, whole new formula for Zelda. We got Mario Odyssey, that was a new formula for Mario. Splatoon got bigger on Switch. Arms needs a sequel.
Agreed.
It deserves it.
We got
agreed.
It was
new IP like 1-2 Switch, and everybody 1-2 Switch.
It's perfect. The series best entry of the 1-2 Switch franchise.
Seth, have you
that's-
played everybody 1-2 Switch?
Not yet. It's on. I'm gonna pick it up. I do want to play it. I had fun with the first one actually, and for $30, the price is right. I think I will play it, but not yet. I haven't.
We tried to do it with the Nintendo Powercast crew. I picked it up, and now Crawler picked it up now too. So 2 of us have bought it so far. But like, you can play online. It's just not ideal.
Yeah. Not good. Yeah.
yeah, because I mean, there's some games where you have to like listen for certain cues, and Johnny was the only one that was able to hear it.
Oh sure. Yeah.
So
Well, I
you
think
know,
I
he's
could. I
cheating.
probably could have turned on. Like I think my monitor has a speaker. I probably could have turned it on. It would have came through the mic.
Yeah,
but
but he just wanted to win.
yeah, no, I was,
Gives you an
and I didn't
advantage
win
over it.
anyway. I didn't win anyway.
It's true.
But it's
yeah, man.
We had to do squats.
yeah, it was
for,
squats. Like who? All right. So what video game makes squats as a mini game? It's not a fitness
Fit, I
game.
guess.
It's a party game. Nobody wants to do squats at a party.
That's like the one thing I'm actually really good at. Exercise wise, I will crush. I can do squats all day. I
so
used to
see,
be a
this is
goaltender.
for Seth.
Yeah,
he's-
I used to be a
he's the one that
goaltender when I used to
requested it.
play- Yeah, I used to play hockey when I was a kid, and I got these like weirdly muscular thighs. I can do squats all day long, dude. I can do squats like a champion. So yeah,
Well, this game's
I'm
for
all
you
over
then.
that.
Yeah,
I'm sold.
I was sore
goes to
for
a
like
party.
3 days.
yeah, yeah. So our next comment is from YouTube, from DVD Collector 1974. Welcome back. I only listened to 2 video game podcasts, this one and the Powercast. Well, you should listen to more, like the Nintendo Drive and All In. I've got my game news from Josh for a long time. Social media is a double-edged sword for me, to be honest. I'll only give one example. Tears of the Kingdom. There are so many people talking about it at first, and it was great until people would ask for help. Then the keyboard bullies came to life, calling people names and telling them to look it up. To me, the interaction is the best part. I'd rather have a conversation with people about an issue in a game than just look it up. The problem was fixed when someone started a friendly support group on Facebook, and the mods don't let people act like that. It's just like movies. Everyone has their own opinions, and that's great. I like to hear all until people dog others for likes and dislikes. That's why I like Josh and the crew, because we have like the same interests. That makes it easy when hearing a game is good, because I know we have the same taste, so it makes it easy to trust. I would love to have what you guys have and be part of something like this. Your pod always makes my drive good. Keep up good works, boys. Again, I agree with John. Skyward Sword is trash.
Well, if you're not in the Discord DVD collector, join the Discord, and we will help you out with whatever you want. I just beat Tears of the Kingdom, so I'm a master at it.
There you go. There you go, man.
But all
isn't
right,
that
so
funny,
Seth,
though?
the real question is Skyward Sword good?
The Skyward Sword HD is good. Skyward Sword HD is good. The one on Switch is good. Don't
Is
go
that
back to the Wii one.
I still
Button
disagree.
Controls or motion controls?
I use motion controls, dude. I
did
love motion
too.
controls.
Yeah.
I am a motion control stan. I'm sorry. I really do like it. In fact, on All In last week we were talking about DS games that need to get ported to Switch, and the big thing is like, well, like how are you going to replicate stylus? I'm like, motion controls are right there. Just force people to use motion controls. Sorry, if you have a Switch Lite, get over it.
The World Ends With You tried to do that.
Yeah. Yeah,
I didn't play it.
it's
I
like
don't know if it
forced.
was any good.
It was good. It's good. It's just like it require. I mean, you do have to use, your detached Joy-Con, and some people are just not about that. Some people are like, it's like they're allergic to it. They don't want to do it. So,
I don't know if
but
I've
for
ever
me, I'm like,
used the Joy-Con like in hand, as
I love it.
except for Super Mario Party, like once maybe.
Right. Yeah, they forced it for Super Mario Party. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I really like motion controls. Chicory, I played that whole game with the motion controls, and it was wonderful that way. Like, I loved playing it that way. I don't know. I love motion controls, but I liked that comment though, because that comment kind of like in the same comment showed like the negative and positive of social media, which was interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, hey, I had this really negative experience on Twitter, but then I went over to this Facebook group and had a really positive one because of things like moderation and stuff like that. So that was interesting to me. I like the turn.
Twitter is like, it's a
Cesspit.
it's a cesspit. It's a
See, but like people will say that, and I'm not defending Twitter right now, or really.
he paid for Twitter Blue.
I did not.
Oh snap!
Don't put that evil on me, Ricky
Justifying
Bobby.
the purchase.
Come on. No, I don't know. I've never have had that same feeling that everybody has with Twitter, and I understand how people have that feeling, but I just know the groups of people that I follow, and like I probably genuinely would be friends with most of the people, and I feel like I am in a way, and like that's, again, if you're looking for good, you'll find good. If you're looking for bad, you'll find bad. And my Twitter experience hasn't been negative for the most part. Of course, there's been, I guess, some moments, but overall, I would say that I am very positive about Twitter in the way that I use it, not just the platform itself, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's nice when you can find people to talk about games with, and they're not going to give you a hard time. And with what DVD Collector said, I struggle with, because I can ask people like, hey, how do you do this? Just not even gaming wise, just anything. And sure, I can look it up. That's easy. But I love interacting with people. But then I feel like, am I a burden because I could just look it up?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you'll have people telling you that. Like, yo, Google exists.
Yeah.
Like you'll have people saying that too. But I think there is a little bit of, and I think you're really good about this, Cheesy. There's a little bit of kind of like you get what you give a little bit on social media, a little bit of like, because you're always so positive, you always put out so much positive energy, you're sort of getting that back, right? And I think that there is a little bit of that. I think there's some sort of cosmic, something with that. But it's also the kind of thing where, like, if you're putting something out there on a platform like Twitter, you sort of open yourself up to, especially, and you would know this too, Johnny, like especially if you're making content on YouTube or something you're trying to cross promote or whatever, you're really like in the line of fire for anybody who has a problem with whatever it is that you've said. And I've had people who like vehemently disagree with something I do on YouTube and like follow me to Twitter, you know, and like, and then hate me on Twitter too. You know what I mean? And it's like, so I don't know. You sort of, it's a double-edged sword. I feel like with all this stuff, the nice thing about a lot of these conversations is like there's good and bad. There is no like black and white answer to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I recently I posted a reel on Instagram, and I said like Tears of the Kingdom is game of the year, and I was a little bit trolly about it. And somebody
in what way? Like, were people upset that it's not going to be?
Oh, it's not. It's got to be.
No, it's Final Fantasy 16. The Tears of the Kingdom is just DLC for Breath of the Wild. It's not good. It's actually mid. It's trash. But no, this person came in to my comments and they called me a bad, like a mean name. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back at this guy because like you come to my comments, I'm going to go back at you. I tried to reply. He has replies turned off. Like why does Instagram let you do that? Like you could come in and say whatever you want at me, like in my comments, and I can't do anything about it. Except for I guess I could delete the comment, but I don't want to do that. I want to go. Yeah. It's no fun.
That sucks. Well, and it's not even that. It's also like, and this is something that sort of happened. It also boils down to the way these apps are sort of ran, the way that these social media platforms are sort of like the functionality of them. Because to your point earlier, Cheesy, like if on Twitter I just stay in like my following tab, that's great, right? Yep. But then like 9 times out of 10, I boot it up and it's like defaulted me to For You, and all of a sudden I'm seeing all this junk, you know, from people that I don't even follow. And, you know, and then like what Johnny's just saying, like not being able to reply to a comment, that's sucks. Like that's one of those, like, I have no mouth and I must scream situations like that, like not being able to defend yourself or whatever online, like taking away that agency from somebody sucks. If you've commented on somebody's video or whatever, it's open season as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and like with the following page, I try to stay on there as much as possible. Yeah, and then, which is a bummer because I know that I'm not seeing everything that like everyone is posting that I do follow, because the whole point is to push you over to the For You page. So every once in a while, I'll go onto the For You page, but if I see something that I'm not vibing with, I'm like, okay, going back over to the following. Like I've spent enough time over here.
Right. But like what you've just said though, like the following tab should show me everything from the people I follow.
You would think. Yeah.
It should do what it says on the tin, you know? Yeah. And like that kind of is wild to me. And then like the stuff like, you know, the thing right now is everybody's being pushed to things like Blue Sky, or in my case Tumblr. And taking it back to when I was like 15. And you know, like a lot, it's because there was like these weird limits on how much, you know, how many posts you could see per day, which is crazy. Yeah. And it has like this double-sided effect where I saw some people being like, well, this was kind of nice actually, because like it's gotten me off Twitter. It's gotten me like, made me like curb my Twitter addiction a little bit. But that's like the opposite of what a social media platform should be designed to do. Like it should make you want to stay on it. That's what TikTok does so well. Right. You know? So like that was kind of like wild to me also. And the thing that I actually like about Tumblr is actually a very positive place. And if somebody leaves you a bad comment on Tumblr or whatever, like it is actually just like kind of part of the culture to just delete it and move on. Like nobody cares. Like there's zero tolerance for any of that kind of stuff. Like it's all about like fans, like just fans of stuff, people loving stuff. That's what Tumblr is.
I think I'm gonna have to check this out now. Follow Johnny Evo on Tumblr.
Wait, have you not heard of Tumblr before?
No, I've heard of Tumblr's been around for a long time. I never got into it. back
Oh, okay.
back in the day, and then Twitter came out, and I'm like, I'll just focus on these ones.
Yeah. Well, to bring it back to like video games, I do feel bad for social media content managers because like Riley Little, who is the manager of Walmart Canada Gaming, is posting all the time. And who's the guy for Xbox? I forget it's escaped my name or escape. The name has escaped me.
You're talking
Shoot.
about you're talking about Phil Spencer.
No, Stein. That's Stein something. Anyway,
Aaron Greenberg? Is that
no.
your name?
I'm just talking about like the social media
Major Nelson? Are you talking about Major
manager.
Nelson?
I'll find it. But what I'm trying to get at is like having limits on posts, just
Right.
gaming and social media, to bring it back to that. That's gonna suck for them because they're not gonna be able to show everything. Or I guess you can still post as many times as you want, but people may not see it because
Well, I think
they've
it's
reached their-
gone now. I think the limits are gone.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it was a temporary thing. It's either gone or it's been increased at least, like quite a bit, like significantly. I haven't bumped into the rate limit like message again in like a couple days.
Yeah.
So it's either he's reversed it or like it's been increased enough to where I haven't bumped into it yet. But yeah, like it does have a lot of drawbacks from people who one of my friends is an independent game developer and he has a game coming out and he's trying to market it, and like that's the best platform that he has to market it. It's where he's got the most followers, and like yeah, now it's like cool, I hope this is one of the posts you're allowed to see today.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Even for like content creators,
Mhm.
less people will see your stuff, or less people will choose to see your stuff. So it was an odd choice. It felt like they were just trying to get money out of us, trying to get more people to pay for Twitter Blue. But it's stupid on his part too, because less people will pay for advertising.
Right. Yeah. That's one surefire way to get advertisers out. Like, hey, people can't even see what we're posting. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm out.
But I can talk about Twitter all day.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear
Just
ya.
like the name's Jer. Welcome back, Jer. Says Twitter is the easiest place for me to keep up with gaming news and releases, as well as keeping up with friends and creators in the gaming community. Before that, it was YouTube and E3 streams, as well as IGN's website. Way back in the day, I used to get GamePro and Game Informer in the mail. I agree with Cheesy that Instagram is just not what it used to be anymore, which is why I also don't use it as much now. I think that might change here in the next week, because Instagram's what is it called? Threads?
Threads or something like that, right?
It's
Wait,
like
I don't know about this. What is this?
it's their Twitter rival.
Oh,
Yeah. They have their
interesting.
own new thing. It
And-
is interesting. There are a lot of people that are sort of like Twitter refugees, like going over to Instagram and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, Instagram's I've never really I've been trying to grow Instagram, and I just feel like I put a picture out or I put a reel out and then I don't do anything else. Like I don't interact at all, and I feel like I'm doing it wrong. I don't know if you're supposed to interact more or what, or how. Like,
Yeah,
I
do
don't
you use
understand how
Instagram?
stories work. Like,
That's me too. Like I don't really understand. I have one. I don't really use it. And then there was a couple times where like Court went on vacation, and like I kind of like took some of the social media load for Carpool while he was on vacation, and I was like, oh right, I should use Instagram. And I felt like an old man. Like I was like, what is this? Like what's the difference between like a reel and a story and like this and that? And then I felt like not only did I feel like nobody was really engaging with it beyond just liking the post
Yeah.
or whatever, not a lot of like actual comments that I saw. And then even then, it's not like you're gonna have like on Twitter you can have an actual conversation like through replies and stuff like that, which I feel like isn't super happening on Instagram from what I've seen. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not that experienced with it, but I don't know. It doesn't feel like a great like conversational platform to me.
Yes, for me it was like once it started to get kind of spammy with notifications, that's when I stopped, because I would get notifications that's like, "Hey, so and so commented on a post that you're tagged in," and I'm like, "Okay," like Cool. I'm glad they're having a good time over there, but I don't know who this person is, and I don't know what this has to do with me. So, like, and that sounds vain, I guess, but like,
It sounds like you're
I don't need that
flexing that
notification.
you were tagged in posts.
that
and
I have
like,
that I have friends.
that you have
Is that-
friends. Yeah.
That I have friends. Yeah, I've got some
Flex,
friends,
okay.
Johnny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, did you guys get Game Informer or?
I still get. I think I just got an issue.
Oh, did
'Cause
you?
I think I'm like signed up for GameStop Pro or whatever, and you get.
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah.
Get I think I just got like the July edition, or maybe it was June or something.
Do they still print it physically? Game Informer?
I don't know.
Don't think so.
I always get it digitally.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's what I was curious about. I feel like I haven't seen a physical Game Informer magazine in a long time. Yeah, I used to stack up all that stuff. I used to have stacks of Game Informers and EGM and all that stuff. I used
Oh,
to,
wow.
That's where you got your video game news back
Yeah.
in the day. That's how you got it.
Yeah, we were trying
Yeah.
to figure out. I think in the last episode, like how did we
Yeah.
know about games like before the internet, before social media? Because I honestly don't remember. I
Right.
can't.
Yeah,
It must have
was
been
that.
magazines.
It was magazines. It was stuff like X Play, like,
Yep,
like
yep.
shows, like that kind of thing. Like you turn on the TV and like you see the X Play is given Shadow of the Colossus a 5 out of 5. It's like, oh my god, I guess I better play that. That sort of thing. And and it was also like, for me, it was also just learning about stuff from like friends, or I'm fortunate. A lot of my family members are also gamers. So like I grew up like with uncles who all play games and stuff. So they, passed down stuff to me or would sort of steer me in the right direction. And then also just like, the days of just like going to Blockbuster and just like seeing something that looked cool, like the box art looked cool.
Yeah.
And just,
I remember when I was a kid, a pharmacy would have Super Nintendo games that you could rent.
Oh, what?
It was like we would go there. It was in the mall. We would go there, once a week, and we would just go rent. But it was a pharmacy. I'm like, that's random. But
Weird, yeah.
we also
I mean,
had
it makes sense if they had Dr. Mario.
I was gonna say, yeah, Dr.
Wow.
Mario all day.
Wow, that's why they call him cheesy.
But yeah. So Jeff Troyvania says GameFly is the only gaming social media we all
Right.
need.
True.
Is that social media?
No, but we can make it
blurry.
one. I don't know. Maybe there is like ways that you could comment on different game. Maybe it's like a letterbox. Like, do you guys have letterbox?
I like Letterbox, actually.
Yeah.
I started using that this past week. A friend of mine turned me on. I like Letterbox. Pretty cool.
What is
So-
Letterbox?
Take it away, Seth.
It's basically like a movie like social media sort of thing where
Oh,
you
okay.
rate and review movies and like you can add people on there, see other people's reviews, put like your top 4 favorite movies on there. Kind of cool. I kind of like
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I wonder if they have anything for gaming that's like that.
Yeah, I think it's called like Backlogged or something like that.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I heard somebody. I haven't looked into it yet, but I heard somebody mention that recently.
We'll
so-
we'll get them to sponsor us, Johnny.
There you go.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
we gotta
Just-
we gotta get
well,
some
but
sponsor.
I like-
I don't know.
I liked the idea of having GameFly create a social media platform. Like, hey,
Yeah.
let's make this happen. Like, let's call
You
it.
know-
I don't know.
There's a
Fly
major
swatter or
opportunity right now.
Fly swatter.
Sitting on the table.
And it's just with the R at the end.
Right.
No
yeah,
E.
No E. Yeah, just
Yeah.
Fly Swatter.
Yeah.
Done. Did your work for
Um,
you.
On Instagram, bugs_and_beers said catching up on your pods physical is better because after a while my old systems get put up at our cottage in the woods with no internet, have all the old Nintendos up there, good for a rainy day. So this was a comment, I guess, going back to physical versus digital. But do you have it looks like you have all your consoles behind you, do you, Seth?
Not all of them.
Okay.
I have some stuff behind me. I do physical for Nintendo, digital for everything else.
And why is
that's
that?
where I'm at. For a couple reasons. Physical Nintendo stuff is nostalgic to me, but it's also kind of a smart investment because the value, Nintendo stuff either holds its value or significantly increases in value usually. So like there's been situations in the past, like when I was unemployed, where like I had to sell off pieces of my collection that significantly increased in value. So it was kind of nice in that situation, and I've since kind of worked it back up. You see some of that stuff behind me, but yeah, I kind of like having like my Nintendo stuff physically because I have an attachment to it. But yeah, like on PS5, like I bought Diablo like digitally. Like I don't really, especially that's an online only game anyway, so like what's the point of having that physically? And a lot of stuff too, especially now, because it is just so clearly the way things are going.
Yeah.
It's like you're gonna get, people get all bent out of shape because like Starfield or Spider-Man doesn't have a physical disc in the box, and it's like, well, even if it did, it would probably have like 256 megabytes on the disc, and you download the rest of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just it is so clearly the direction that everything is going. It just is, and you just kind of have to accept it or don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see when the Nintendo Switch 2 or whatever gets announced
Yeah.
in July.
Yeah.
Apparently now.
Wait,
apparently.
what? That's like the rumor right
That's
now?
the
Is
rumor.
July?
Yeah, it's July. Yeah.
Like this July.
Like this month.
Like right
Yeah.
now.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, like tomorrow. Yeah.
Wow. No, I didn't hear that.
That would be
That's
a
crazy.
baller move. Like they just had a Nintendo Direct, and they're like, "Yeah, we're not done."
New
Here's-
hardware.
Yeah. Here's your 4th of July. These are the only fireworks you need to see.
Wouldn't that be wild? Now,
Yeah.
Who knows, man? But yeah, there's like this whole rumor that like some like Spanish studio has like a dev kit and stuff like that already.
Yeah, people are saying that's Mercury Screen.
Mercury Steam.
Yeah, you can't say their name. The Metroid Dread people.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, if we get a launch Metroid like 2D platformer, that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be sick. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think. For me, I'm like, I don't think it's gonna be. I think next year is when they talk about that. But it is what it is. We'll see. We'll see.
There was a comment in the Discord that wasn't picked up.
Oh, okay.
It was from Turtley. Turtley.
Yeah.
I feel like places like this. I feel like places like this Discord weren't mentioned in the episode. There are an undercurrent of the game. They are an undercurrent of the gaming community, and I feel like they support the better side of gaming as opposed to the hate stuff on more mainstream discussions. I agree. Like Discord's more intimate, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that. And it's definitely when you find your people that they like want to flock to you, or you want to flock to them and discuss the same thing that they may be interested in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
to
know
be
if-
honest with you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was, I've had a Discord channel for years, and honestly, it's not that active. And I don't know if that's the case with just my Discord or if that's normal, where maybe people don't use Discord as much as they used to.
It's weird. I definitely felt like when I started the Discord channel for All In, I felt like I used to have to be like a pretty active participant. Like I felt like I had to kind of like all the conversations are being started by me,
Mm-hmm.
But I think you have to do that a little bit at first until people start to kind of get to know each other. And then there's also a lot of cross-pollination that happens between like the various Nintendo communities. A lot of people listen to like multiple Nintendo podcasts, which is really cool because a lot of people it's like the rising tide raises all ships sort of thing. A lot of people are
Sure.
kind of hitting all of us, which is really neat. And you start to see and hear some familiar faces and voices and stuff. And
Yeah.
you start to recognize community members and you start to get to know people,
If I
which is
may,
cool.
just give us a second to say thank you, Shy Guy.
Thank you, Shy Guy. Thank you, Shy Guy.
Shy Guy's everywhere.
Love that.
Shy Guy is
Oh,
everywhere.
he's
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
One of the best. Just a truly great human being. I love that dude to death. Yeah, he's great. But yeah, I mean, like you see these people kind of like finding their homes on the internet, and like to be able to create that is really cool, and it's also a little selfish too to like be like, you know, this sucks, Twitter sucks, whatever, that sucks, but I'm gonna make my own little place where just I can live and I can sort of foster, and like there is something selfish about that, but there's also something kind of beautiful about that. It kind of reminds me of like, yeah, like old fan communities. I grew up on fan fiction, you know, forums and stuff as a cringy teen on the internet, you know, and that's what it was, man. It was all of us just sitting there being fans of stuff.
Oh, don't be
And,
shy. You can talk about your Mario fanfics.
It was Mario fan fiction.
Yeah, yeah.
It was Mario fan fiction.
Oh, did it talk about how Super Mario Bros. 3 is the greatest game ever made, and whoever hasn't played it is not a true gamer?
I don't
That's
know
all the
how
time
this-
that we have. Thanks, everybody.
How is there anybody who hasn't played Super Mario Brothers 3 at this point?
Especially a person that is on a Nintendo podcast and runs a
Multiple.
Nintendo-focused account and likes Mario. It's not like you don't like Mario.
Right.
You're wearing a
I mean, I
red
do-
shirt.
I
You
do
got
like
the you got the
Luigi more.
cereal. You got the
cereal
the
box.
cereal amiibo behind you,
Yeah.
and you haven't played Super Mario Bros. 3.
No.
That's
I
a
haven't.
joke.
I don't
It
know
couldn't
why.
Be
I
easier
just
to
like.
play too. Couldn't be easier. It really couldn't. Like it's just
I
sitting
could-
there waiting for you.
We could carry you through it. Like we'll play it all in NSO.
That's true. Yeah, that's
carry
true. We
you
could do
through.
that.
Well, which
Dude,
one is the best to play right now? Because you have like the original, but now there's like
3.
Super Mario Advance World
All-Stars
3
and
Dash
all
2
the
Yoshi's
original.
Island.
The original, yeah, the
Super Mario
NES
Brothers
one.
3,
Okay.
NES. Just play that. Now, if when you wind up falling in love with it, then you can like look for the little differences in All Stars and Advance and stuff. Just play that original, dude. I replay it like multiple times a year. Last Halloween was the last time I replayed it, and I just like fell right. I'm 8 years old again. It feels like butter. The level design is perfect. Like it still holds up beautifully well. You must play it.
Yeah, no, I will. I for sure will. I promise everybody.
You've been saying
We'll
that
play
we've
Super
been doing
Mario
this for
Bros.
like
3.
4 or 5. We found out like 4 or 5 weeks ago, and it hasn't happened yet. The game's like 3 hours long.
I was playing Tears of the Kingdom. I got
one
push
of the
mode
best
to
games
play.
So
Yeah.
those are the comments that we've gotten throughout the week. But we have some time, and I want to discuss with Seth because this is what you do, like as a job, right? Social media and content creation. Has it ruined gaming for you? Like, has it changed the way you look at gaming?
Yes and no. There are definitely a lot of the content that I do. A lot of the content that is like successful for me is like let's play sort of content. Like Cheesy, you were saying, like the demo playthrough of Pikmin. I do a lot of that sort of content, but the stuff that I really like to do also are like video essays and. You mentioned my podcast, Keep Nintendo Weird. I do another video series called Behind Enemy Lines, where I like deep dive into the backstory and lore of Mario enemies.
Nice.
I love that. I love doing that. I truly do. It takes a lot of time to do that, and like and this is something I'm sure both of you have bumped into in your own content creation journeys. But it's like the cost benefit analysis of what is taking me the least amount of time for the most amount of success.
Yeah.
Whereas like something like that, like I love making a video about Tatanga, the villain of Super Mario Land. Like it's one of my favorite things I've ever done. And the people who love it really love it. But I spent a lot of time working on that video and like it doesn't quite line up. Whereas the stuff that people watch a lot on my channel is like me just playing a game for an hour and talking over it. It's easier and faster to make. So like there is kind of like a give and take there. But the thing, I've been doing this full time for about a year now. And it is the thing that I've learned the most is like having to find that balance, finding a balance of like kind of what is quote unquote paying the bills, such as it is. It's not, it's all thanks to my wife. My wife deserves all the credit in the world. She's the one keeping the roof over our heads. She's the breadwinner. This ain't paying the bills. If anybody's ever
Yet.
seen like, yet. I mean, we're gonna get there, right? But that's the dream. You grind and you work hard and you get there, and it's not easy. It's like really hard. But that's but that's the entire thing, man. You just keep on your grind and keep going and make unique content, and that's what I'm hoping I do. But it is a balance, and I do think that like stuff like kind of getting into the daily sort of the daily sort of mess of it all, and certainly with social media, like people can be so negative online. A really good example, I did a video before Pokemon Scarlet and Violet came out that postulated that maybe, possibly, there could be trans representation in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And I thought it was a really good video, really well researched. I sent it before I ever posted it. I sent it to a few of my trans friends, and I was like, "Hey, like, cis white guy here. Is this weird? Should I not be putting this out? Am I off base here?" And they're like, "Oh my God, no! I appreciate this so much. This is awesome. Like, put it out." And like, it got so much hate. Like, it
Oh, dang.
went crazy. The negativity and the transphobia. I had to turn off comments on the video. Like, it was that bad. And that was like people. There are still people who, like, I don't have any video on my YouTube channel that has at 100% like ratio. None of them. Because there are people who go in there and just immediately dislike every video that I post because of that video. Because I said, hey, trans people are cool and I like them a lot, and I think maybe they could feel represented in this Pokemon game. So in that way, there is certainly a little bit of like, yeah, maybe there is some bad eggs out there, but at the same time, like, for every moment like that sort of ruins that experience for me, there'll be people that come out and say, hey man, like, I really appreciated you saying that. And I appreciated you being the one that was willing to put that target on your back, for like saying the hard things and for saying exactly the way you feel and for making this thing that does sort of make me feel seen. And even though those voices are totally drowned out by the negative voices, at least they're there at all. Like, they're whispering, they're squeaking, but they're there, you know?
Yeah.
And like, that's kind of what I do it for.
And I think it's important, like a message like that, to, show that you are there for that community, that you're an ally and you're behind them. And, like you said, we're all cishet white guys. So it's hard for us to even, that negativity that you received on that video is just a fraction of what they go through all the time.
That totally. Like, I was thinking that the whole time. I'm like, oh my God, like, this is a minuscule, this is just like such a small look into the kind of things that these people are getting constantly, man. And it's a shame. It's gross. And it's hard to look at social media like positively after an experience like that. At the same time, again, all of this great stuff has happened to me because of it. And all these great conversations that I've been able to have about games with amazing people has been because of social media. So you kind of have to take the good with the bad, which, is maybe like a cop-out answer, but like, I think it's just true. I think you do have to take the good with the bad, which I think is I think you guys are pretty spot on last week, the way you guys landed on it.
Yeah, I think I had talked about, I fall into this trap where I don't really play games for fun, like just to have fun. I look at a game, I'm like, what kind of content can I make off of that game?
Right.
And it it could take the fun out of it in that sense, but I do enjoy making content about things that I love. Like, I've made a bunch of videos about Tears of the Kingdom, and I love that game. So
now I know that,
problem,
like,
by the way,
you get Nintendo is your niche. That's what you are making content for. But you also build a lot of Lego. Excuse me. Sorry.
Yes, Lego
everybody.
bricks.
I got
dummy.
a Lego. Just let go of it. Do you ever feel that you need to make content in that moment? Because it's like something that you love doing, but do you separate it? Like, have you made any content on some of your Nintendo Lego?
I might have, but I honestly I don't remember. But the thing about Lego is I do it with my partner. So it's more of
Oh,
a,
yeah, yeah.
it's like a thing that we do together. Like right now, honestly, like right now, if I open this door, she is on the floor separating Lego bricks and building a Lego city. Like that's what she's doing right now.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So yeah, that's something that we do together, and I've never really felt the need to make content on that, but I would love to get Lego sets sent to me for free because they are expensive.
Let's go. Yeah. Get that sponsor. Well, I also though, Johnny, I don't think it's a problem to say like what I love about playing games is making content with them is not a problem. Like that's the kind of thing like that society and typical thinking would say like, oh well, you should just enjoy like playing the games more and you should just focus on that and forget the content. But if what you love is making the content, like do what you love, dude. Like that's really what it boils down to. And like I had a person tell me one time, I used to do this thing, I don't know, back when I first started, I was streaming like every day. I was working myself to death. I used to do this thing called Monday Mind Check, which was basically just like a mental health like stream where I just went on Twitch at the time and just like talked with whoever wanted to talk about like mental health topics. And I'm not like a therapist or whatever, but I've been in my fair share of therapy and I've heard enough stuff to know a thing or two. And somebody said like, sometimes I feel like I feel like what I'm doing in life is the side quest. Like what I like doing is like the side quest. Like I'm never doing like the main quest of life. And it's like, well, no, like your side quest is your main quest, you know?
Yeah.
So like what I would tell you, Johnny, is like if you feel like making content around games is what you actually love doing, that's your main quest, dude. Like do what you love. You know, that's what it boils down to at the end of the day.
Yeah, like this is gonna be a brag because I just found out like last week, but I got promoted at my job,
I saw that.
my actual job, which I've been passed over like a couple of years, and normally around this time I'm in a pretty dark place because I usually get passed over, but I'm trying to get into the mindset where like that's just paying the bills. Like I don't really enjoy it. Like it's not a passion. I don't want to be the world's best tax accountant. I mean, I don't want to be the world's best content creator either, but like I would love to make content creation more of the main thing that I do. But who knows if that will ever happen.
Keep working at it, dude. Keep working at it. Keep making the thing that only you can make. You know, that's what it is. We got to make this stuff.
How long have you been doing it, Seth?
I started my first ever. So I've been on the internet making stuff for a very long time, probably like 20 years.
Wow.
Like since I was a teenager. But the first podcast I ever recorded was 2007. So I've been doing podcasts since 2007.
Dang.
Yeah.
Was that was your podcast?
No, it was I was on the first podcast I ever recorded when I worked at GameStop. My store manager at the time started up this podcast called LA Gamecast.
Okay.
And we did like, I don't know, 5 episodes or something like that.
Oh, I did
and
get
like,
past the 7. You got to get past 7. That's the
past 7. Didn't make it. It was like kind of, but really it just sort of introduced me to like even the concept of podcasting. I started listening to stuff like Idle Thumbs was a big inspiration for me. Kevin Smith's podcast, Mark Maron's podcast, and stuff. Getting really into like, oh, podcasts are a thing, and then I just consume them all. And then my cousin and I would talk while playing Halo or whatever it is. And then what I would wind up doing is I would just record our conversations. Like we would just talk with like my crappy Turtle Beach headset. And, and that was my first ever podcast, was doing that. It was called the $2 Hero Cast. And now I've kind of repackaged that into one of the Patreon shows for All In. It's called the $2 Hero Cast, kind of like a reference to my first podcast. So yeah.
So wait a minute, you had $2 Hero back then?
Yeah, in 2007. Yeah, 2007, 2008. Yeah.
I don't know why. I always thought that the lore behind $2 Hero was for the Nintendo Switch Online like family plan,
No.
and like you
No,
were the
no.
one that was like providing the $2 for people to have their account.
Oh
Well,
my gosh, I
where
wish it
does
was
the
that
$2
cool.
actually come from?
It comes from nowhere. It has like
Okay.
no real meaning. Like so I wish there's a that's a really I should have thought of that. That's a good story. No, my so my handles online have been like I've had a million different handles online. When I was young, my handle was ScorpDK, which brace yourself stood for Scorpion Death Knight because I thought that was cool.
Whoa,
Yeah,
that's cool.
it was pretty
Yeah.
legit. It's pretty cool. I was making like
Were you playing
mods
Mortal
for Star
Kombat at
Wars.
least, or no?
No, no, it was just like I just thought Scorpion just sounded like a cool thing, man. Just Scorpion Death Knight. I was making mods for like Jedi Knight Academy on the PC and
Oh,
stuff.
sweet. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was pretty sick. I could play as the lead singer of Cradle of Filth. It was pretty good. That's the kind of stuff I was doing. And then yeah, so when I went on to SMB boards and TMK, the MushroomKingdom.net, these Mario like fan communities,
Mhm.
my handle there was Pizza Dinosaur, which is the name of Mona's competitor pizza restaurant in WarioWare Twisted.
Huh.
And I
That's a
always
deep
that,
cut.
that always stuck out to me. Yeah, it's a deep cut. That's what I do. And then after that, I did like I think one of them was Homicidal Death Droid when I had a blog,
I'm
which
sensing a
was just
pattern.
yeah, just like stupid stuff like that. But eventually, when I made my Xbox Live account, one of the like random things was Winter Cereal, which I went with, and Winter Cereal is still my handle on PlayStation actually.
Honestly,
Um,
probably is like a really good cereal. It's that ice cold milk
oh
and
yeah,
yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
I get
Winter
that.
Cereal.
Yeah.
And I wanted to change it for whatever reason. I wanted to change my name on either my blog or something like that. I was like, well, what should I? Let me take a shower and think about it. And $2 Hero just popped into my head, and I
It's
googled it, and it
amazing.
wasn't taken. And I've been $2 Hero ever since.
It also makes me think of Better Off Dead.
Yeah,
And
two
there's the
dollars.
yeah, I want my $2.
Yeah, yeah. I there was a time when I took that clip, and that was like kind of the sound, like the send
Oh,
off, like at the
nice.
end of the show.
Yeah.
$2. Yeah, yeah. Pretty good. I should bring that back.
So you would say that you make content because it's what makes you happy? Like you were talking earlier that you put in a lot of time into something, and then I think all content creators know this is like you will put in time to something that it really means a lot to you, and then you
Yeah.
put it out to the world and it doesn't have that same appreciation that you thought it was going to have. What makes you keep going?
For me, I first I like doing it. Like I like it. Kind of is the perfect encapsulation of all the things that I kind of enjoy. When I first started, it was writing. Like I thought
Mhm.
I wanted to be a writer. I'm gonna be a journalist, or I'm gonna write opinion pieces, or a blogger, or whatever. And I felt like I was really comfortable with writing. I felt like I was better at getting my thoughts out with the written word than I was speaking it. I was very shy and stuff like this. I couldn't really get my thoughts out with my words. So I could just write them. But when I discovered podcasting and I got more comfortable kind of speaking my thoughts, then I was like, oh, well, this is like way easier. But I still like writing. And I still miss kind of the quiet, like clickety clack of the keyboard and writing scripts and stuff. And then I started to make video essays in December of 2021. I edited my first video ever. Been doing this for so long. That was the first time I ever edited video. And then I was like, oh, this is writing the script, narrating that script. So it's like
Mhm.
podcasting almost. And
Mhm.
then this new skill, which is video editing and stuff. And then I was like, oh, like, I dig this. Like, this is kind of a cool, not only is it a cool challenge, but it's a cool sort of like culmination of all of my sort of experience in content creation leading up to this moment. So I really like that. Like, I really like doing it for that reason. And also, I think I'm kind of addicted to just being opinionated. Like, I think I'm kind of addicted to like letting people in on who I am, I guess.
Mhm.
I think that there's a big part of me that likes to just like put it all out there on Front Street. Growing up, there's a lot of people who like didn't care what I had to say and probably still don't. But there now that like I have the ability to sort of put my thoughts and feelings out there and say, hey, like this is how I felt when I played Neon White or whatever. This is what this little moment in Chicory meant to me, or this is my favorite, Mario villain or whatever. The fact that I have the ability to express all of that,
Yeah.
like that's what I do it for. Like, and then the fact that that can resonate even a little bit with anybody is incredible. Like, I did a video breaking down the theme song of Bugsnax.
Yeah, I was going to mention it.
I probably spent 40 plus hours on that video, all told. Not only because I just wasn't very good at video editing back then, and I'm still pretty subpar at it, but back then I was like way worse than I am now, and it took me a long time just to edit it. But also, I like to capture all my own footage whenever I can and stuff. Dude, I had like sleepless nights. I'm like, oh my God, I'm making this video for nobody. Like, I'm making it for nobody. And then I made it, and people I still get people that comment like that video. I get a YouTube payout every month because of that video. Like that video is the thing that pushes me over the edge every month. No, like without fail. So like I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, like people care what I have to say about this stupid Bugsnax song.
Yeah. Do you want to explain it? Because I don't want to like give anything away. But
It's
for those that
riddled with
haven't
spoilers.
watched,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
If you're listening and you want to check it out, go check out. It's on your YouTube, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, it's on the All In. You can look up All In Media on YouTube and you'll find it. But
I'll
yeah,
put the
it's-
link in the show notes.
Okay, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, like the premise of it is just breaking down the lyrics of the Bugsnax theme song and how like low key that theme song spoils the entire events of the game, and we just never knew it. And I thought it was an interesting premise, and I actually like I had that realization, and I was like, nobody has made a video about this yet. Let me just go ahead and do that. But then it took like so long. So, and I thought nobody was saying it online because nobody actually cares. You know what I mean? So
There's always an audience for anything.
totally,
True. Yeah.
totally.
Because they're just hoping that somebody is talking about it, right?
Finally, somebody
Yeah.
talking about the Bugsnax theme
Yeah.
song.
Because
Our
they're not
voices
going to
are
do
heard.
it. But if there's somebody out there that they can watch,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's the thing too, is like another reason that I keep doing it is because it won't exist unless I make it. You know what I mean?
so
Like,
true. Yeah.
That kind of stuff will not there was a Mr. Rogers moment where he just drew this like crappy crayon drawing of a house. And he was like, "Yeah, this isn't like the greatest crayon drawing of a house, but I made it and it's mine and it didn't exist and now it does."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like that's a really powerful thing for me, is like having these thoughts and having the ability to put them out there and knowing that if I don't make it, it won't be made. So that's why I keep doing it, man.
That's great.
My favorite part is trolling people. Getting right when I get a comment that they fell for it. Oh, it's so validating.
Hook, line, and sinker, baby.
I will say,
Especially
Johnny,
when I
you
get
have-
cheesy. When I get cheesy going, that's the piece de resistance right there.
Get them riled up.
I mean, you do say a lot of nonsense that just gets under my skin. I was going to give you a compliment and say that you've come a long way, but I'm now understanding that.
Well, now
nothing
I've
has
mastered
changed.
the skill. You know.
Well, Johnny, do you have anything for Seth?
No, I mean it was awesome hearing you talk about your content creation journey, and it's great having you on. More Nintendo fans are welcome
Yeah,
anytime.
man. Yeah, no, thanks. I appreciate the invite, guys. It was cool to get on here and chat with y'all. There's a Johnny, like Cheesy and I have talked several times. This is my first time hanging out with Johnny, so it was cool and cool.
It's never gonna happen again, probably, because he's like, nah, I'm done with this.
Well, I mean, we have the Super Mario Brothers 3 connection, so
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
we're
exactly.
bonded for life over that alone.
Do you do warp whistles or no warp whistles?
It depends on how I'm feeling. The last time I played, I did do warp whistles.
Did you get all three,
but it
or did you
just
just get two?
depends.
I mean, spoilers. Sorry, cheesy. Did you get all of
Can't
them?
spoil it for cheesy. Yeah, no, it depends. Like, I have a couple of different routes that I like to take through that game, and sometimes I do just feel like doing kind of a pure, sort of route through it. But yeah, cheesy. We got it. That should be its own thing. Like when you
Look,
play this game,
I was
the
in
cheesy
choir.
review.
I was not in band. I don't know anything about warp whistles or how to play them.
You
So
were cool. You were
I,
cool.
I was
man.
pretty cool. Yeah. No, I was I was in choir. I was in theater. I was, the artsy fartsy kid that people were making fun of. But that's it's someone that likes Nintendo, and so I was checking off all the boxes of why people shouldn't talk to me. But yeah, Seth, thank you so much for coming on. This is,
Thank you.
Johnny and I want to do this for a living, but there's so many other people out there that do as well. And I think you're a great example of someone that is doing it. And one of the reasons that we wanted to bring you on was to hear your journey, but also to hear your opinions on gaming and social media and how it's affected you. And
Thank
you're still going. Do you have anything that you're working on right now that you want to talk about?
Oh yeah. I'm working on a few. I have a few like running documents that I'm working on. My Tears of the Kingdom review for Carpool Gaming, which has been harder than I thought. It's been backburnered a lot, but
It's 10 out of 10.
I've
What
also-
like
just
two
quick and
2-second
easy,
video? Like what?
Yeah, 2 seconds. Make it a short, YouTube short. I try to like whenever I do a video review like that, I try to make it like somewhat personal, and that game really meant a lot to me, and so I'm trying to take my time with it. But it's also been like backburner. But I am actively working on that. I've got a couple little video essays to look out for too. I just put one out about this is a very esoteric video. This one did not blow up the way the Bugsnax video did. But I did a video where I broke down the like 2 seconds of footage we saw of Suda51's new game at the end of the Grasshopper Manufacture Direct.
Dang.
So that was
How
gonna be
long
a
was that
YouTube-
video?
for like
For
16
2 minutes. It was a
16
16-minute
minutes?
video?
Yeah.
Got some mid rolls
Yes.
in there. Yeah, that was perfect.
Oh,
perfect
we
one.
got some. Yeah, it was pretty well calculated. Yeah. No, but I did that. New episode of Keep Nintendo Weird just came out, and I have another one that I'm recording next week. And I also do like 6 podcasts a week, I think.
Yeah, so I guess the other question before we let you go, because we're probably keeping you from doing other things. How do you do all this?
Well, so I'm extraordinarily lucky. Like that's the thing that like this is not again paying the bills. I am so lucky to have the support of my wife, who pushed me to do this last year, and to pursue it. I literally could not do it without her. And she is such a like hard worker, and like she is. I mean, yeah, I'll never, I'm extraordinary in the living situation we're in. I couldn't be luckier to be in the situation I am. But also like, yeah, it's I get charged by conversations like these. Like this kind of turns my crank, dude.
I thought you meant money
I
wise.
forgot to tell Johnny. He's our accountant, so
Yeah.
he'll pay you on the way out. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I didn't mean charge in that way, but you know what? Now that you mention it,
You should.
I think
You should.
geez.
Time is- time is money.
But I do like I do feel like an energy from conversations like these, and I'm so lucky to have like friends to talk to about this stuff every day, man. Like and like yeah, that's kind of the the good thing social media has given me is to get to be in everybody else's orbit and see the stuff everybody else is making. The fact that y'all just like booted up this podcast and stuff like that energizes me, dude. I love to see it. And
What I'm hearing is podcasts are like cats, and they just kind of multiply. Like
Yes.
we're at 2 right now. Like who knows what's gonna
I've
happen?
got two as well. Yep.
stir that cauldron, and it'll just by the time before you know it, dude, you're doing like 6 a week like I am.
Seth has one cat, right? You have one cat?
I do have a cat. His name is Goblin.
How do you only
Yeah.
have one cat? Like how is that
No,
even
it-
possible?
It's about to become another cat, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping. So we got him. He was a stray. We rescued him. His name is Goblin, and hopefully we'll get another cat soon named Ghost. So we'll have Ghost and
Nice.
Goblin.
Oh, that's
That's
amazing.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, Seth, one more time, where can people find you and everything that you're doing?
Yeah, Twitter, $2 Hero, Tumblr, $2 Hero. I'm over there now. Yeah, keep Nintendo weird. All in a Nintendo podcast, Carpool Gaming, the Nintendo Drive. All kinds of stuff between all of that. But yeah, you can. Twitter's probably the best place, social media wise, because it's all you'll hear me yelling about all of it over there.
Cool.
Well, we do have a quote today, but I do think Seth had like a much better quote than we actually have.
Mm-hmm.
But our quote is, "Your time is limited. Don't waste it living someone else's life." That's from Steve Jobs. Thanks everybody for listening, watching, and we'll talk to you all next time.